Parth was 23 years old, ambitious, and deeply devoted to his family. He lived in a modest house with his parents, who had spent their entire lives sacrificing their comfort to give him a better future. His mother, Mira, was the heart of the family. She had always encouraged Parth to dream big and never give up. Whenever he faced difficulties, her words gave him strength. One winter morning, everything changed. Mira collapsed while preparing breakfast. She was rushed to the hospital, where doctors diagnosed her with a serious heart condition. The treatment was possible, but it required an expensive surgery and months of medication. The estimate was shocking. Parth's father, Ramesh, stared silently at the bill. Years of savings vanished in a moment. Despite selling jewelry and borrowing money from relatives, they were still far from the amount needed. That night, Parth sat outside the hospital alone. The cold wind brushed against his face as he looked at the city lights. What if we can't save her? He thought. The fear was unbearable. Over the next few weeks, Parth worked extra hours, applied for additional jobs, and searched for every possible source of income. But no matter how hard he tried, the money came too slowly. One evening, an old acquaintance named Vikram approached him. "I heard about your mother," Vikram said. "I know a way you can earn more money in 1 week than you make in 6 months. Parth immediately rejected the idea, but Vikram smiled. "Think about your mother before you answer." Those words stayed in Parth's mind. Days later, after another hospital bill arrived, desperation overcame his judgment. He called Vikram. At first, the work seemed harmless. He was asked to transport sealed packages from one location to another. He never asked what was inside. The money was extraordinary. Within a month, Parth had enough to cover several medical expenses. His mother's treatment continued, and her health slowly improved. Everyone praised him. "You're doing so much for your family," relatives said. Each compliment felt like a knife. Parth knew the truth. The money was dirty, yet he convinced himself that he had no choice. "I'm not doing this for myself," he repeated every night. "I'm doing it for Mom." As months passed, the assignments became riskier. He began meeting dangerous people and witnessing things he never wanted to see. His conscience tortured him. He stopped sleeping peacefully. He avoided eye contact with his father. He smiled less. Ramesh noticed the changes. One evening, while cleaning Parth's room, he found a bag containing a large amount of cash. The amount was impossible for his son to earn legally. His heart sank. Instead of confronting Parth immediately, he quietly investigated. The truth he uncovered shattered him. His son had become involved with criminals. That night, Ramesh waited for Parth to return home. When Parth entered the house, he found his father sitting silently at the dining table. The bag of cash rested in front of him. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Ramesh asked softly, "Where did this money come from?" Parth's face turned pale. He tried to invent excuses, but his father already knew. The silence that followed felt endless. Finally, Parth broke down. Tears streamed down his face as he confessed everything: the fear, the hospital bills, the desperation, and the choices he regretted every day. "I was trying to save Mom," he cried. "I didn't know what else to do." Ramesh listened quietly. When Parth finished, he expected anger. Instead, his father stood up and placed a trembling hand on his shoulder. With tears in his eyes, he said, "A son who loves his mother is a blessing, but a son who destroys himself while trying to save her is a tragedy." Parth lowered his head. "If your mother knew how this money was earned, do you think she would accept it?" His father continued. The question struck him harder than any punishment. The next morning, father and son made a difficult decision. They cut all ties with the criminal network and cooperated with the authorities. The consequences were painful. Money became scarce again. The future was uncertain. But for the first time in months, Parth felt free from the burden he had been carrying. His mother eventually learned the truth. Instead of condemning him, she embraced him. "Never measure love by how much money you bring home," she whispered. "Measure it by the honesty you keep in your heart." Years later, whenever Parth faced challenges, he remembered that lesson. He realized that desperation can push good people toward bad decisions. But true strength lies in choosing what is right, even when life gives every reason to choose otherwise. And though he had almost lost himself trying to save someone he loved, he ultimately discovered that character is worth more than any amount of money in the world.